Okay, so we had a couple of like our standard escapes. Okay, so we've had a couple of standard escapes, like framing in, ghost escaping. I want to go over kind of a different variation of side control that you sometimes see. Okay, so sometimes instead of going for a cross-twist underhook, they'll go for both hands on under controlling this far side arm. Just kind of like this. This will happen sometimes as well. Yeah. So, okay. Something you don't even need to go ahead yet. Though that is sort of a danger. Something that is a danger from here is, in fact, a topside buggy choke. We're going to go into bottom side buggy chokes later, but the first thing I actually like to do to protect that is to just kind of put my hand on my head, like this, so that I don't get my arm crammed into my throat like this if he tries to buggy choke me. Exactly. Because this is really bad for me now. Okay, so the first thing is I just basically force away so that now if he tries to close his face, go ahead, try.
Yeah, it's easily.
Yeah, exactly. This is keep forcing space here, this is basically forcing this part of my neck to stay open, which is going to kill the choke. So, depending on your wrist mobility, this might be annoying, but still. So, and actually, because this is actually, I do this escape a lot, and this is actually something that works surprisingly well. You were just on my ankle? Yeah. That's fine. Then I just wanted my head to move up because you were on my hair, that's all.
Okay.
Yeah, so the first thing I'm going to do is kind of bump it a bit and go to the side. And from here, I can normally find the foot, peel it off, and roll them over. So, this is actually an escape that works a lot better when you're dynamic and in motion, okay? This one, when you're doing it static like this, and he's got his feet nice and, kind of like concealed under his butt and everything, this one's harder. This is why the exercise you're doing at the beginning, where you're just trying to create motion, is so important. So, go ahead. Same thing. Yeah, okay? So that's why doing things like this, motion is so important. Because, oh look, there I've got the leg. Okay? Because it doesn't necessarily break his base, but it forces him to keep an active base so that his feet can't just be tucked under his butt. And that's where I can get the hook. And important is, it's okay to just grab the hook like this, but when you're wanting to do the escape, you want to go to the end of his leg and pull closer to his ankle or foot, okay? If I try to pull here, he's actually not allowed, he can actually, yeah, exactly, I can actually possibly give him mount. So I'm going to come down to the end of the foot and hook it in like this. And most of the power is actually coming from here, okay? So I'm just pulling him over, and you see it's actually in his best interest to start breaking his mount side control now. Because it's actually not pleasant on the leg if it just stays there. Okay? So, showing this one more time. Again, the idea is we'd be giving a bit of motion. That's going to bring his foot away from his butt. Actually, turn around. So had your butt away from the camera the whole time. That's kind of dumb. Okay? So let's just say it in here, and we'll look, we've got it. And again, you pull in here. And you're essentially doing a half guard sweep from here. So I essentially have him, it's quarter mount, quarter guard, not half guard, but it's essentially, this is a sweep that you have in half guard. Okay? And I can go directly from bottom to top position. And IBJJF, because I have him in my guard again, I get points for that. Yeah. Okay? So, makes sense? Anyone want to see that again? I've pulled this one off your Naga Europeans black belt against a black belt. So It's honestly, it works really well. Okay? So let's work on that one, and then we'll go to, maybe we'll start with some of the annoying shit. Okay, so just a quick note, a couple of people kind of noticed this. Okay, one of the things about this is a lot of people were talking about how he's able to hide the foot. He actually can, yes, and that's not actually bad for us, because the problem, again, is what, it's like when they keep saying, escapes are about creating a dynamic situation. Could you maybe go out of the camera? Oh, sorry. Are about creating a dynamic situation and creating motion and space. And he will be able to hide his foot, but in doing so, he's going to create space and motion. And in doing so, he's most likely going to give me another escape that is just as easy for me. So, like, for example, from here, hides his foot, oh look! Now I can ghost escape. So he's hiding the foot, hard to get the foot, but okay, I just ghost escape now because to hide the foot, he's got to separate his hips from me a bit, and that's giving me the space to get my arm in. And things like that are going to happen a lot. So, but now something a bit more realistic, well, not more realistic, just as realistic, but a common reaction I see when people go to this escape is like if he tries it, and let's say I'm in danger of him getting my foot, is that they'll transition to Cthulhu-Jitsu like this, so that he can't get my foot anymore. Okay? Cthulhu-Jitsu also has a lot of the same problems as side control, because again, I need my arms to control, and it's going to be hard to submit them. There is this one submission here that people do, but honestly, I've again never seen. I've seen this at like white belt tournaments and everything, but after blue belt, I've never seen this anymore, especially at things like Europeans. So higher level tournaments, I just don't see this anymore. I don't see a lot of people playing Cthulhu-Jitsu. This is normally, when I see people playing this is the, oh, I don't want my foot getting caught, come over here, and then try to transition back to a normal side control. That's normally when I see people doing Cthulhu-Jitsu. But that is also still sort of something we can use. Yeah. So, and here's one of the situations where I'm going to tell you it's actually okay to hug your opponent now. This is actually good for you. Okay, so what we're going to do is get a nice wrist on wrist and pin him to our chest. And we're going to give a nice strong bridge, preferably that his head hits the ground. And I can just roll him over again. And I get a nice cross-face underhook side control. Okay? So again, he transitions to Cthulhu-Jitsu. I don't want him up like this. Okay? I really want to grab, and I want to pull him in towards me, get my feet on my butt, and bridge strong. So that his head comes on the ground like this, and just keep my hips up and roll over. Okay? This doesn't work if you drop your hips. Okay, so if I'm doing this, okay, I come here, I get this in, I hug it in, bridge up, then drop back over, now it's not working anymore. Okay, I need to keep his weight up here on my head, essentially. My hips have to stay off the ground until I start rolling over. Okay, so if you drop your hips back down, this doesn't work anymore. Okay? And again, just to say it, common reaction from him, because if he tries to pose with his head, he's most likely going to lose position. So just to point it out, common reaction is that he will use this hand on my arm near the post, which again gives me my ability to spring out and start coming back. Okay? So just to point it out, yes, is a common reaction. That's actually better for you because he's just given up half of his control for the case of Katami. It's actually easier for you to escape there. Okay? So, any questions with that one? No? Okay, let's practice that one and then we'll go to some annoying shit. Now let's start with some annoying bullshit. So, this is where side control escapes start getting damn annoying. Okay, so we're kind of here. Let's say, for example, I get here. He's holding things well, and we're going to start with a buggy choke. Okay, so I'm going to shoot my arm here through and grab my leg. Okay, and turn on my side. Okay, from here I can hike it up, and really important is the choke doesn't come from my leg, it comes from my lats. What I'm going to do is I need to go on my side, and I'm turning on his hip with my other hand, and I want to crunch my lats. And that's where the choke comes from. Okay? So I've seen a lot of people just kind of crunch like this on their legs. I've also seen plenty of videos of people breaking their own leg doing that. Okay? So the choke on a buggy choke doesn't come from you pulling with your leg. I mean, just doing it like this, even without yawn getting the choke. This is actually, I can feel this on my hip. What it comes from is I'm here and I'm crunching with my sides to close that hole. And that's where the choke comes from. Okay? So let's show this one more time at this angle so I can show what I'm doing with this hand. Like this. Okay, move, like this. Yeah, okay. So I'm here, okay, and I don't want to just kind of be on my back, because actually Jan can hold, this is not that bad for you, is it, Jan? No. Yeah, okay, I need to be on my side, and this automatically is tighter, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Okay, and again, I'm training on the hips so that he can't push me over, and I start to crunch with my lats. Okay? So the choke is crunching with your obliques. Okay? I'm not pulling on my arm and pushing down my leg. I'm doing a side crunch. Like this. And if you can do a bit of a, if you do bodybuilding and you do like a lat spread, that's kind of like perfect. So you want everything to kind of crunch down and flare out on the choking side. Okay? Good. Yeah, so.
Can I see too?
Yeah, who wants to get buggy choke? Okay, so first I need my hand on the opposite side here, shoot it through, and I want my armpit on his lat, and this is where I already start to go to the side. Okay? Hook it in first, just to secure the position. From here, I grab my leg and hike it up. You want that arm to be elbow deep. Now shove back on his hips and start to crunch. And that comes in pretty quick. Buggy chokes are legitimate chokes. I call it a bull. Yeah, no, I've seen them at high level. J-Rod was famous for buggy choking people at the ADCC trials, which are some of the best people on the planet. And I think he buggy choked like 3 people. His first run at ADCC trials, he subbed everyone. And I think half the subs were buggy chokes. So buggy chokes are legitimate. And the main thing about buggy chokes is my opponent has one of 2 choices. He can either keep in the side control and get buggy choked, or give up the side control that's going to protect his head and keep him getting choked, but then he gives up the side control. Both of which are good things for us. So either you end it immediately or you get out of side control. So, okay, let's spend a couple of minutes buggy choking each other, and then we'll start with some submission, or some positional sparring. Well, I mean, we're going to start with the submissions now.